Hi, today I'd like to talk about Psalm 81, verse 10. It's an interesting verse where God says to us, "Open your mouth wide, and I'll fill it with good things." It's an interesting verse because it comes in the midst of a lament in Psalm 81, God's lament, that those he loves are slow to listen to him, often resistant, and more quick to listen to most any other voice. And God says in that psalm, I'd really like to help you. I'd really like to feed you, but you got to open your mouth wide. And I was thinking about this a few months ago, and it occurred to me the image of opening your mouth wide to be fed. Maybe the most poignant image is that of a baby bird expecting and waiting to be fed by its mother. And there's a few things we can learn from baby birds about how to be fed by God. The first is there's a purposeful choice involved. Baby birds are not forced to open their mouth wide. Mom doesn't pry the mouth open. The baby responds to its hunger and opens its mouth wide voluntarily. We have to learn to do the same. Respond to our hunger for God. And that baby bird chooses attentive stillness when there's bugs to be distracted by and sunlight and leaves rustling and all that goes on in the forest. The baby bird chooses attentive stillness. And this is the idea behind the daily office that emotionally healthy spirituality advocates for. A daily time, planned intentional time, where we choose attentive stillness, shutting out the other distractions, putting the phone away, and being still so as to receive from God, so as to listen carefully. And that baby bird, as it chooses attentive stillness, it also assumes a very vulnerable posture. Head thrown back, mouth wide open. Who's in control here? Not the baby bird. And to really meet with God, that's how it has to be. We have to choose a vulnerable posture, and the Psalms expand on that concept. The idea of bringing all of us to the table without trying to control or edit or filter our troubling thoughts, our painful emotions. I have been learning how to bring those things to God more authentically, more vulnerably. And what I'm finding is that I'm able to exchange my troubling thoughts, my painful emotions for grace and truth as I imitate a baby bird and choose a vulnerable position. And lastly, that baby bird with its mouth wide open, it's demonstrating dependent trust and expectant hope. Oh yeah, it's counting on mom to give it a worm, not a clod of dirt. And when we choose a position of dependent trust and expectant hope, I think we're really honoring God. And I think every time that we have a positive experience where we draw on His grace and truth and are able to exhale some of our troubling thoughts and painful emotions, it reinforces powerfully our expectant hope for the next day, for the next daily office, because that is where God will fill our mouth to full as we learn to imitate a baby bird. So let's do that, because that's where it's at. God wanting to fill our hearts with Himself. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.